I honestly think CB was like BURN to be an idol. If she improves her singing just the tiniest bit and maybe dials some of her expressions by 1 point, god, she'd genuinely be completely unstoppable. Hey guys, welcome back to another iland recap and review. This is actually a really long episode, so let's just get straight into it. The episode starts with Seung Hanbin of ZB1 previewing what will happen in part 2. With that, we then cut to iland, where the survivors of the elimination are gathered around. This also where we get the amount of members in the debut team revealed, which is 6. I don't actually think it'll be 6. I still think there'll be a 7th producer pick choice, but they won't reveal that until the final. The girls are then re-ranked based on their overall performance in part 1 of the show. The current top 6 are CB, Sarong, Fuko, Junggun, Mai, Coco. This is gonna sound really mean, but what was the criteria for this? Was it the general average of their scores, or did the producers pick based on how they felt? I personally disagree with a handful of these placements, but maybe I'm wrong. They're also starting to set up underdog or fallen angel story with Junggun with how they edited her reaction to her placement. After that, the girls go to look around their new rooms, which are ranked based on their own rank. The higher you are, the better room you have. Something I find so funny about both islands is that this is a genuine source of drama. They make it sound like the lower ranks have to sleep on a rabies-infested mattress with no air filter, when the only difference is that the bed is gray and doesn't move, lol. Anyways, we then get introduced to the first mission, a Black Label music style mission. The songs for this mission are Lovesick Girls by BLACKPINK, Love and Rose by AJANUGU, and finally I Am the Best by 2NE1. Since these are all remixes, it could give like a sample of what the debut sound may be like. The members for each unit we already pre-chosen. I Am the Best, Mai, Jiyoon, Sujin, Juwon, Love and Rose, Sarong, Fuko, Juri, Jimin, Lovesick Girls, CB, Junggun, Yuju, Coco. The leaders are Jiyoon, Jimin, and CB. We get straight to practices since the interim check is in 12 hours. Something I've noticed is that Jimin seems to get less and less confident with each stage. She gets more and more reluctant to choose bigger parts, which is kind of sad since she's so talented. Even so, for this performance, Jimin and Sarong choose to audition for the center, while Juri and Fuko audition for main vocal. The show is also picking up on Jimin's loss of confidence since they put some emphasis on it during the auditions. Fuko is given the main vocal position after beating Juri, and before the center auditions begin, Juri also decides she wants to try out for the center position. The show depicts this as almost a negative, but I personally think it's really good that she still is fighting for a bigger part. Ultimately, Jimin gets the center part for Love and Rose. Sarong gets main dancer and Juri gets part 3. We then cut to Lovesick Girls, where Junggun and CB get their parts, quickly being main vocal and center. Coco and Yuju both want main dancer, so as always they'll audition for it. However, there is some clash between Junggun and CB, with Junggun accidentally taking a lot of the leadership roles over CB. Junggun really takes the wheel, especially when they're deciding who the main dancer should be. I think the show's favorite is shifting to being someone else now, since they're starting to depict Junggun as pushy and not listening to others' opinion. Anyways, as practice continues, Junggun and CB continue to clash. I'm not going to take these clips as completely factual, but in the scenario that they are, I definitely see both sides. On one, I definitely understand Junjun's frustration, especially since they only have 12 hours to remember everything. On the other, there were definitely moments where CB could have been fine on her own or could have figured out what to do or spoken up more. Finally, we cut to I Am the Best, where right off the bat Sujin is critiquing Jiyoon's leadership skills. Anyways, Juwon chooses main dancer, Jiyoon center, and Sujin main vocal, and Mai is struggling to choose a part. Jiyoon is also a bit too direct with her commentary. I don't think she's genuinely trying to be mean, it's just she's naturally blunt. Honestly, I thought this was gonna be turned into an evil editing clip show, but instead the mentors praise her, which I was really surprised at. Personally, I think there needs to be a balance between being a blunt leader and nice leader. Like, yeah, maybe someone had to hear that, but it's also understandable if that person is hurt by it. After some listening and suggestions by Jiyoon, Mai feels satisfied with part 4, therefore there are no overlaps. Anyways, it really does seem that the show's storyline for Jiyoon has done a 360. This episode alone, she's gotten some of the most positive editing out of all the trainees in the entire show. I know a lot of people say that mnet never disliked Jiyoon or wanted her to be a villain, but I completely disagree. The editing they did for her in the first couple of episodes was very obviously done to damage her character, and it worked especially on the international side. But I don't think they expecting the local Korean fanbase to adore Jiyoon, which is why they're now completely taking Jiyoon's personality as a positive now. This can also explain why Junggun is starting to receive not so beneficial editing. I thought the Korean fanbase was starting to like her, but I guess I was completely wrong and they still dislike her. It really sucks because the core reason of this dislike is colorism and Kent's decision to put her against Jiyoon. Anyways, after a couple more hours, it is revealed that the interim check will be self-evaluation rather than done by the mentors. First up is I Am the Best. Sujin receives the most praise. Then we immediately go into Love and Rose, where Jimin is the most critiqued for lack of confidence and singing. Finally, Lovesick Girls goes up. Yuju is critiqued for her dancing. Junggun is critiqued for her vocals. The girls go back to their practice room to check their evaluation sheet. For Lovesick Girls, Coco is ranked worst. For Love and Rose, Jimin is ranked worst, and they skip over I Am the Best for now. We then go to Junggun and Jiyoon's room where they're left alone. A couple hours earlier, Jiyoon critiqued Junggun during evaluation. Anyways, literally nothing happens in this setup, so who cares? After that, the girls are transported to the stage and the performance section starts. Before we can see Love and Rose's full performance, we flash back to the interim checks conducted by the mentors. Once again, Jimin is the most critiqued for her vocals and lack of confidence. We get a montage focused on Jimin practicing and trying to hit the note. Also, this is unrelated, but I really like Jimin's talking voice. Anyways, I think the performance itself starting off super strong but progressively got less impressive. The intro, oh my god, it was so good, like so incredible. Jimin and Juri's stage presence was just wow. Sarang and Fuko also did so great. But I think the vocal performance as a collective was meh. I still definitely enjoyed it and I thought it was good. I do really want to give Juri her flowers. I think she did amazing. After the performance, Sarang expresses anxiety and guilt for messing up a portion of her lines. Jimin wins her team's on-site votes with 207 points. Next up is I Am the Best, where we also flash back. This is where the clip of Sujin and others talking about Mai. Sujin comments on Mai's nasal tone, then talks about how she isn't going to tell Mai how to fix it because she sees this as something an individual battle. I definitely don't think she was saying this just to make fun of Mai, or throw her under the bus. I also want to add that at this moment, Mnet is gonna edit and solely include clips to try and manipulate results as much as possible. Similarly to how I feel with the Jiyoon edits in the earlier season, as well as Junggun in this episode, I think Sujin had a point to some extent, but also I understand the opposing side. I definitely think fans blew Sujin's comments out of proportion though. However, I'm also glad Jiyoon checked and helped Mai. During interim checks, Sujin gets critiqued for trying to replicate the original song instead of doing her own. Mai is praised for her improvements. Anyways, the final performance was pretty good, but there is someone I really want to give her flowers for her performance. Juwon was just so good. She was so consistent with her tone and stage presence. She did amazing and I'm just so like wow, I loved her. The other girls did great as well. When Sujin had some absolutely great moments and so did the others. Jiyoon received the most on-site votes with 193. During interim checks, CB's rap part is switched and given to Coco. Yuju's rap style and dance is critiqued. Yuju is probably the most critiqued this episode even after interim checks. They spend like a good 2 minutes of an entire montage of criticism. CB tries her hardest to try and make Coco stand out, which I thought was so cute. She's literally an angel. Do I think she was a good leader? Not exactly, but she definitely had the soul for it. Anyways, the performance itself was amazing. It's probably my favorite of this show so far. All these girls are amazing performers in like their own way. Junggun is so subtly but naturally great with her stage presence. Coco's stage presence is completely enhanced with her dance, and Yuju's presence just comes so naturally to her. I honestly think CB was like BORN to be an idol. If she improves her singing just the tiniest bit and maybe dials some of her expressions by 1 point, god, she'd genuinely be completely unstoppable. CB gets the most on-site votes with 197. The highest scores for each unit based on mentor evaluations are Jiyoon IMTB 90 points, Jimin over 95 points, and the final ranks aren't shown. The episode ends with the reveal of the current status of the global live vote. Ranked number 5 overall is Coco, 6th is Sarang, 7th is CB, 10th Mai, 11th Juri, 12th Juwon, The rest of the ranks are not shown. Overall, this episode was really good. It's probably my favorite in the show so far. That's gonna be it for today. What were your favorite performances and performers? Who are your current votes? See you next week.